today I'm going to be watching this video. It's called What Was Your Biggest Surprise on Arriving in the Netherlands? So yeah, not too sure if this is tourists or people who have moved to the Netherlands for work and to live there. So interested to see what their biggest surprise was. Tell me what you think about these.
The most surprising thing about the Netherlands for somebody from London is how calm and well-behaved Dutch drunk people are.
Again, being from the UK, that's actually a good point. I know British people really abuse alcohol when we go out to drink, go clubbing, just take it too far, get too messy. I guess Dutch people are more responsible in that respect, so yeah, that's good to hear. Is that the case for you as well?
The first time that I came to the Netherlands, I was amazed how people were sympathetic and friendly with me.
The surprising me is the country is so small, but the people's mind is so huge.
The thing that has astonished me is how friendly they are. If you pass them when you're biking, everyone says hi. In the first couple of days, I wasn't responding because in California, we'd never do that.
Whenever I've just been cycling around or I've been walking to the shops, people will always say, "Oi."
I find it strange because you don't know them.
You never get that in Southeast London.
It gives you a friendly atmosphere between you, and sometimes it opens up into a conversation. A guy would be walking his dog and then he'd start talking about the weather or whatever after he said hi.
You have to say hello to 40, 50 people on the way. And they are very polite, I think over polite.
A guy came.
Do you think that's fair, like saying over polite? Do you think it's fair to say that everybody's friendly in the Netherlands? Is that the case for you? Do you make an effort to be friendly? Being from Scotland, I think we are like that as well. We always try and be open, welcoming, friendly. We love to talk to people as well, so maybe have that as a similarity. But when he says over polite, maybe I think it's better to be too polite than not be at all. I live in Asia now and people are more reserved. I kind of miss just having random people say hi to me and things like that.
Came out with his truck. He had to make a left-hand turn and I was just sitting at the bench. He pulled out and he was going like this for about 10 seconds or so, trying to get my attention so he could say hi to me.
When I came here, all my girlfriends at home said, "Oh, you have a Netherlander." And I said, "Why? Why is it so special?" "Oh, they are so open, they are so nice, they are this, and they are."
The Dutch mentality, the people, that they are direct.
Dutch people say everything very directly.
You can have all kinds of thinking, nobody will feel strange, feel shocked.
They speak very loudly than Japanese people. When I'm in the class, I have to speak loudly than normal.
One thing I found really surprising about here is that people give out their bank account numbers to other people. That would just never happen in the United States.
Yeah.
"Oh, you can pay me." And I said, "Okay, well, how? Here's my bank account number." That just would not happen.
Coming from the south of Italy, I was just used to the fact that people would not stick to their words. So what I was very surprised is what was the difference between the Italian way of hiring person and the way that they say they do it here.
The most surprising, the lack of hierarchy that we see in our organizations compared to the United States.
In Japan, in the school, we have to respect teachers, respect old people. In the Netherlands, after the class, we always drink beer or do karaoke with my teachers. We are very equal, so that is very impressive for me.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the best way to be. I've always thought that as well. I feel like for progress, whether it's business, education, everybody has to be treated equally. You have to be on the same level, whether it's educators, being able to question them and challenge ideas and things. It's the only way to make progress, whether it's in a business environment, being able to challenge your managers and not just have them dictate everything, where one person making a decision is not going to be better than everybody being able to have an input and things like that. So definitely the Dutch way and that lack of hierarchy makes sense to me.
I found it very surprising that they throw this most amazing carnival party down in the south, the Catholic South, on a par with Venice or parts of South America. That was, to see the Dutch going totally wild. That was such a shock.
What was that she was talking about? I don't know, it was some sort of festival for Catholics in the south, but I've not heard of that on any other videos. Tell me more about that as well. And yeah, that was one thing I was actually interested when when I learned about the religious sort of makeup of Netherlands. It said that the biggest religion that was followed was like being Catholic. I thought it would have been Protestant with the Netherlands history, so I was quite surprised with that. But yeah, they obviously have some big celebration for that as well.
Everyone was. I knew there was like tall people here. But then when you stand in a concert and there's just no way you're going to see anything. Ever.
The smell of the country. You can feel the smell of the cows or the sheep. Surprised me.
That is really surprising because this is everywhere.
I felt the smell and I said, oh my gosh, I
stepped into something. And I started to look my shoe and it was nothing there. And I said, oh my gosh, a bird pooped in my hair. And I started to look my hair. Then I said, oh my gosh, maybe I'm sick.
We don't have the alarm. First time I was here, I didn't know about it, and suddenly 12 years, I don't know, first it was for war and then for flood. Very, very scary.
What is it for?
There is a couple of bridges. These bridges are for planes. So you are driving and plane crosses bridge right above your head. That still is funny for me.
Prostitutes on windows? That's pretty surprising.
The red light district, I didn't know that like a country would have that.
I was in Amsterdam walking around on a Sunday morning and I was very, very tired and I needed some coffee. So I politely asked a little old Dutch lady who obviously just came out of church where the nearest coffee shop was. Not knowing what a coffee shop meant in the Netherlands, she proceeded to yell at me and smack me with her purse.
More foreigners will like go to a coffee shop and smoke weed than Dutch people. The drug culture is very small. You go to England where it is illegal straight up, and more people in England smoke weed than they do in the Netherlands.
Yeah, that's for sure what I would imagine. Like when I grew up, I don't really know many people who at least never tried it. Interesting in a country like the Netherlands where it's more legal, that maybe more of the population have not tried it. I don't know if that's the case. Tell me, in your experience, do a lot of Dutch people go to coffee shops? Do a lot of people smoke weed in general? Tell me more about that.
Service here tends to be more focused on the human experience rather than making a quick buck. If I walk into a restaurant, for example.
After we order, we usually don't see the waiter again. We have to flag them down to get refills, and also getting the bill sometimes is a problem.
I have the opportunity to sit and enjoy the conversation that's around me and go when I'm ready to go, unless of course it's closing time. It's incredibly human experience focused.
How the hospital or the doctors work here is very different. If you go to India or the US or everywhere, then you've been pumped up with a lot of antibiotics, and here if you go to the hospital you get paracetamol, that's all. You get, okay, wait for 3 days, see if the fever is still there. Okay, after that you come fully different than most of the countries, I would say.
The biggest surprise to me is that everyone bikes. I find that it's so interesting that the older people still bike. They're still able to get around. It's amazing.
You'd see 3 people on the one feet, one riding, one on this side, one hanging on the back.
The parking lots would have like 30 cars and 900 bikes. 10% of the parking lot was cars and 90% was bikes.
I knew that this is a biking place and I love that about Holland, but yeah, they're not afraid to run you over.
Everybody riding a bicycle, and you have really a road for the bicycles everywhere. It was really a surprise for me.
I have to watch everywhere all the time because bikers are coming from all the directions. And I was not sure if I'm taking the correct road. Am I on the bike road now, or what is happening?
The wind. The first 2 days I couldn't feel my face.
Windmills. I wanted always to stop everywhere and make pic of every windmill.
I understood that there was rain here, but I did not fully appreciate how much. My very first year was the coldest, wettest year in over 100 years.
The steps.
Yeah, tell me about the weather in the Netherlands. That's not really something I've seen too much about. They say obviously it's very windy It can get wet by the sounds of it as well. I'm from Scotland, a country notorious for just having terrible, depressing weather. When I go back to Scotland, I step off the plane, the colour is just grey. No matter what time of year I go, it's just grey. I live in Asia where it's kind of orange and sunny and nice all the time. Well, in Malaysia anyway, Southeast Asia. But what about the weather in Netherlands? Is it nice? Do you enjoy it? Would you rather live somewhere where it's sunnier? Do you prefer Netherlands weather?
I remember just how thin and tall the houses were. Looking at them, I wondered how people could even live in them.
Coming from Ireland, I found the organisation of everything a total surprise.
How Dutch people are so precise with time. Here the tram comes in 5 minutes, it's 5 minutes, it's leaving. And I was always the one running behind it.
You're standing at the bus stop and it says bus in 1 minute. And it comes.
The shop's closing.
It comes in 1 minute, and it says it's coming in 1 minute, then it comes. Like, that's what I want, man. I want that adherence to schedule. Again, being from the UK, we don't have that. Living in Malaysia, we definitely don't have that. It's the opposite. If everybody in work is always late for meetings, public transport is always late, everything's late. That's just the way it is. I love the Netherlands mentality on that.
At 5:30 or 6 o'clock, you can't buy anything after that. That was like a big shock for me.
I had tears in my eyes. I couldn't get to a store after 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock now.
At first it really irritated me because I thought, oh God, it's so organised here. The more I sort of relaxed into it and the more time I spent here, I think I'll go over to Holland for a little bit of organisation for a while.
Yeah, very good, man. I like that a lot. Is that the case? Do a lot of shops, restaurants and things, do they close early? Maybe just with regards to shops, that might be more applicable, like 6, 8 o'clock, is that when everything closes? That's definitely the case when I go back to the UK. I notice it, like a lot of places really close at 6, 8 and then nothing's open. Here in Malaysia, everything's open, like all the malls, the shops and that, it's at least 10 p.m. everything closes. There's a lot of eateries, restaurants that are open like 24 hours, so things are always going on. You can come back on a flight and land early in the morning, like 2 a.m, and there'll be somewhere you can go and eat. That I kind of like that actually in a way. Tell me what you think about that as well. But yeah, tell me what you think about these, seeing foreigners' opinions on the biggest surprise in Netherlands, what they think about it. Tell me if you agree with these things, what you think about them. Thanks.